If there's one thing we're learning as a nation as we collectively recover from the first Biden-Trump debate, is that the current state of the Democrat Party is full of status-seeking individuals who put power and prestige above solving problems for the American people. And it should come as no surprise since this is the way certain people function. Which is why the saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, doesn't tell the full picture. Like most quotations that people get wrong, they leave out the part that people who seek power are usually corrupt to begin with. And that's what's so important to understand. This notion that people like Joe Biden just wanted to serve the public more so than he wanted to serve himself is why too many people give career politicians like him an unearned benefit of the doubt. Me personally, I don't feel sorry for Joe Biden just because he reminds me of my grandmother who started to go slightly senile. By the way, my grandmother started losing it after 95, not 81. And that's the thing about Joe Biden. It's not just his age that's the problem. This is a man who lied his way into the highest echelons of power. A man who plagiarized speeches, lied about his education, and even lied about his first wife's fatal car accident by falsely accusing the other driver of being drunk when he was not, and to top it off, it wasn't even the other driver's fault in the first place. And Biden has even had the nerve to tell black Americans that if they didn't vote for him back in 2020, they weren't really black. Worse than that were enough Democrat Party operatives like Simone Sanders who were all too willing to make excuses for such a gaffe, when in no way in hell she would have made any such concessions had Trump or most any other Republican politician said such a thing. And depending on what certain higher-ups in the Democrat Party wanted to achieve, not too many Democrat politicians would have gotten away with it either, especially if they're white. We need to remember that black Americans like Simone Sanders can be just as racist as the people they're all too willing to falsely accuse of the same charge. This is why we as a nation should be utterly disgusted with so many of these Democrat Party operatives and media hacks that are way more concerned of keeping their prestige and their privilege, all the while deflecting blame by projecting terms like white privilege onto others. Just like certain people have learned the hard way to be aware of a spouse all too willing to accuse the other of cheating when in actuality it's the person accusing the other of cheating who's doing the cheating, this is even worse than gaslighting. Because gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse or manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition. But to falsely accuse people of being racists, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, and Islamophobic even, to not only silence the other person, but to threaten them, this is just vile. And this is what so many Democrat Party operatives and their media enablers have been doing to not just people who disagree with them and see through their bullshit, but the nation as a whole. These are people who don't want to be in Washington because there are legitimate problems to solve as much as they want to be there because there's power to be had. And with that power, there's millions of dollars to be made. And with that wealth, there's prestige and privilege to enjoy when you manage to serve yourself in the name of public service. At the very least, enough Democrats and certain media personalities are finally admitting what they've been lying about all along. But it's not because they've had a genuine change of heart or an epiphanous clarity of conscience. No, they're fessing up because they know the gig is up. It's all too obvious that they've been beyond gaslighting the nation about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. Which, by the way, that's a much more accurate term to use rather than just blaming this all on his age. The age is not the problem. It's the cognitive decline. It's the obvious dementia and senility. And it's absolutely despicable, to the point of criminal, for so many people to have been covering this up. People need to be fired, to say the least, and some people should be hauled to court with just the same urgency as they've dragged Trump to court over the Stormy Daniels hush money payments, among other bogus, lawfare attempts to remove any political opposition. Me personally, I am thoroughly disgusted with so many of these people. While I've never been a proud card-carrying Democrat, I've voted for Democrat presidents almost every election. For Clinton twice, for Kerry just because he wasn't Bush Jr., and even for Obama, at least against Romney. It's going to be a long time until this party can earn my trust again as a voter, much like it will take a long time, if ever, for a betrayed spouse to trust their partner who not only cheated on them, but falsely accused them of doing it just to deflect blame by projecting that transgression onto their significant other. This is why it's not simply that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's that people who seek power are usually corrupt to begin with, and we as a nation need to do a better job of spotting these liars and cheaters before it's too late. If I got anything wrong in this video, please let me know in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links below for my original art and merchandise, and thanks for watching.